After a fantastic close-fought season of racing around the UK, the 2023 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship reaches its climax north of the border at Knockhill, the home of motorsport in Scotland. It's great to see that after a week where most of Scotland has been underwater, conditions are fine for the 50 or so drivers across 9 different classes doing battle here in this final round of the season. Will it be Fred Ling or Lee Wood who takes the overall title for 2023? We are about to find out at this fine afternoon in Knockhill. Let's have a look at a lap of the circuit, then we're on board with David Ewan in the Ford Fiesta Evo, heading up under the bridge on the top straight on the tarmac. It's onto the brakes at the end of the straights, dropping down into Duffus Dip, quite a steep incline down into this tighter right-hander onto the loose at McRae Corner, named after Scotland's arguably most famous motorsports family. More on them a little bit later on. Then it's into the bottom straights, the Big Dipper as some call it. The cars bounce over the bumps through here, an absolute car breaker this section, very narrow as well between the tyre walls. Coming out of this section you have to watch those plastic barriers on the left on the grass as well. Careful not to go too wide through there. Back onto the tarmac on railway straights, and it's into a double right-hander. Taylor's turn to complete the lap. David just getting the back end of the rear-wheel drive Fiesta Evo kicked out through there, avoid the end of the pit wall and up along the top straight. That's a lap of the Knockhill circuits. First of our A finals then is for the 4x4 classes. Graham Reed, local hero in his Nissan Pulsar, to lead them off. He's already won the Clubman 4x4 division. The other 3 drivers in the modified 4x4s. There's already a bit of push and shove. Thomas Ramanauskas in the Mitsubishi leading on Max Langmaid in the All-4 Mini. Ramanauskas has already secured the modified 4x4 title, and Max Langmaid all set to win the All-4 Mini category. David Bell in behind him. The other runner we've regularly seen this year, the Subaru of Chris Baker, engine damage keeping him out of the last couple of rounds of the season as they head over the Big Dipper. Ramanauskas at the back, but he only needs to finish this race to secure the championship for the second year running. Graham Reed out in front, has to be said, hasn't had a lot of opposition this year in the Clubman 4x4 championship. He's already secured the title at the wheel of the Nissan Pulsar, looking to sign off his season with a win here at Knockhill in this 6-lapper. Fortunately, the 2 cars of the Hawks family suffering problems earlier on with their All-4 Minis, not able to start this race. So they drop down through Duffus Dip into McRae Corner. We do have one of the McRae family competing here today at Knockhill. More on him a little bit later on. Look at over the bumps there, Max Langmaid, the man from the southwest. A long journey to race at Knockhill here today. Well, most of these drivers have quite a lot of miles to put in to come to Knockhill. Graham Reed, one of the exceptions, our local hero in the Pulsar. He's gone wide there, he's understeer wide into the cones, and Max Langmaid takes the lead of the race. I think Graham Reed is slowing up a little there in the Nissan. Stays ahead of David Bell. Ramanauskas running wide, nearly hits the end of the pit wall. As they come up over the top under the Beatsons Bridge, down into the right-hander at Duffus Dip. It's the biggest event Knockhill hosts every year, the British Touring Car Championship in the summer. Good to see the Rallycross circuit being brought back into use over the last couple of seasons. So the titles may have already been decided in the 4x4 divisions, but the overall title still to be settled. Will it be Classic Points leader Lee Wood or Super Modified King Fred Ling? We'll see them out a little bit later on. Fred Ling in the Fiesta, Lee Wood in the Mark II Escort. It's Max Langmaid who leads the way. Started off his career on the short ovals, and somebody going straight on there, that was Graham Reed. So he's run out wide, I think he's pulling up. That's a great shame for Graham. Wanted to end his season with a win, but he's out of this one. Here comes Thomas Ramanauskas having a look on the inside into Duffus Dip. David Bell holding him off in the second of the All-4 Minis. We're on the last lap now. Max Langmaid has pulled away. He's heading for victory. Thomas Ramanauskas, the Lithuanian, just wants to play it safe, take the checkered flag. He'll secure his second title in as many years. He's dropped back from David Bell now in that second place, so it looks like it is going to be an All-4 Mini 1 and 2, these BMW Mini Countryman base cars, pioneered by David Bell and his Bell Rallycross team. Back onto railway straight for the last time, up towards the double right-hander to complete the lap, and complete the race. It's going to be Max Langmaid who wins our 4x4 combined final here at Knockhill today. David Bell will come over in second. Ramanauskas will secure the modified 4x4 title in third. Graham Reed having already wrapped up the Clubman 4x4 championship. Well done, Max Langmaid. A fine victory for the all-4 mini-man. He wins his subclass as well. Wins the race nearly 4 seconds clear of David Bell. Ramanauskas in third. Graham Reed, a non-finisher. The Hawks family were non-starters. In terms of the points, the modified 4x4 title goes to Ramanauskas. Max Langmaid wins the all-4 minis. Bell in third, ahead of Chris Baker, absent today. In the Clubman 4x4 championship, Graham Reed beating his only opposition this year, Andy Grant.
Max, it's been a terrific transition from junior rallycross last year into senior rallycross. You seem to have taken to it ever so well.
Yeah, well, I mean, winning here today, that's been absolutely insane. It's my favourite track, Knockhill, although it's 14 and a half hours away from home. Yeah, it's so quick. The Mini is so fast. It handles beautifully. Yeah, it's just such a massive learning curve from the Swift to the Mini. I think I've adapted quite well. But no, it's just been taking every step in my stride, really. I've had to have a lot of help with my team, you know, a lot of going over my onboard footage after every race with my parents and like my mechanics, and like any advice is helpful. And yeah, just really thinking about the next weekend, trying to move forward, develop the car, develop me, and yeah, it's certainly paid off.
What does it feel like then, being with your first senior championship under your belt and soon round your neck?
Oh, do you know what? I can't even believe it. It's really surreal. It's going from the Swift, like you said, to this beast. It's over double the horsepower. It's just so surreal. So yeah, I can't thank my parents enough for putting me here. Yeah, just guys are awesome. Love you.
So congrats on today. Brilliant racing all the way through today, and a very comprehensive win. Well done.
Thank you, Steve.
A class for rally cars is always a feature of the Knockhill round, and we've got two of them here this year. Jamie McBain in the Peugeot 205 GTI and local man Ian Biaggi in his Ford Escort Gartrack G3. A match race between the two of them then in the A final. In the heats earlier on, Jamie McBain won 3 times. Bit of smoke there from Ian Biaggi's Escorts. Rare machine these days, the Mark III Escort G3. Very popular as a rally and rallycross car back in the 80s. But Jamie McBain, who's got 2 cars here today, he's out in the pre-95 Classic division with another Peugeot 205 as well. It is who has set the pace all day. Over the bumps they come then, with McBain out in front. See, these cars have passenger seats on board as well, but no co-drivers in them today. You always see the rally car class. It was Ian Biaggi's Escort, if memory serves me right, ended up running on his own in the A final in last year's event at Knockhill. Just understeering wide, nearly clips the bales on the outside there. Jamie McBain heading for 4 wins out of 4. No points on the rally car class. We would have seen the modified class combined with them, but no entries, unfortunately, for modified here at Knockhill. So it is McBain, who does a bit of rallying in the winter in this Peugeot 205, prepared by R1 Motorsports, who is coming in to take his 4th win of the day. A clean sweep for the Peugeot man. Ian Biaggi well back in second place in the Escorts. Very reminiscent of the cars we saw in British Rallycross in the late 80s, the likes of Trevor Hopkins, John Welch. The great Martin Shankar had a Gartrack G3 Escort as well at one time. And Ian Biaggi comes over in second, the former Classic Mini racer. And it is a win for Jamie McBain. He's been in dominant form today in our rally car class, winning by some 18 seconds in his 4th match race of the day with Ian Biaggi. No entries in the modified class. The title there goes to Honda Civic pilot Chris Smith ahead of Rob Tinto, who campaigned a Ford Puma in the early rounds of the championship.
Jamie, probably the busiest man on the circuit today, double driving, winning in the rally car class. How was that?
Yeah, it's nice. To be fair, the car is not that old. We've done 3 rallies in it, so it's quite still a fresh build. So to go out and stretch its legs a little bit, especially in rallycross, yeah, it was good to get the win. But the original story is that's my first rallycross car that I started in originally. So, and then we converted it back to a rally car.
Well, after that win, you better have a bit of a rest,
Yes,
but not for too long, and then we'll see you out again on track shortly.
Yes, good luck to Lee. Obviously, we're all in the classics. Played a bit second fiddle to him all year, but he's deserved everything he's got so far. So hopefully he can do the deed today.
Yeah. Well, thanks for talking to us, Jamie.
No,
Congratulations on your win. Well done.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Now it's time for one of the most important races of the day, the Super Modified A final. The man to watch, Fred Ling in the Ford Fiesta ST on the outside of the front row. Alongside him we have Jason Bleasdale at the wheel of the Vauxhall VX220 and Dave Crockett at the wheel of the Vauxhall Chevette. Now neither of those cars are registered for points, so they get underway then down towards the first corner. Now Fred Ling, all he needs to worry about is being the highest point scoring car home. We're on board with Todd Crooks in the BMW Mini, chasing Cameron Whitley at the wheel of the VW Polo. Vince Bristow ahead in his BMW that we normally see in the classic category. He's doubling up today. Todd Crooks in with a chance of the Super Modified Championship if Fred Ling wins the overall crown. Because of a quirk of the BTRDA rules, drivers can only win one title in a season. There's Michelle Swallow, the pink Porsche. There is Alan Crockett at the wheel of the Vauxhall Chevette. Fred Ling runs wide, nearly clips the bales on the outside there. Now Crockett is not registered for points, nor is Jason Bleasdale, who is away and gone in front as Todd Crooks gets past the Polos run wide there of Cameron Whitley. Fred Ling having a go at Alan Crockett at the wheel of the Vauxhall Chevette. Again, a car we normally see in the pre-95 Classics division. Oh, and Phil Chicken has crashed out in the Citroen C2. Now, that could have a bearing for the Super Modified Championship. Phil Chicken has already won the up to 1600cc subclass, but he was just ahead of Todd Crooks in the points in Super Modified. Now, if Fred Ling does win the overall championship, then Todd Crooks here could overhaul Phil Chicken and win the Super Modified crown. Due to that quirk of the rules where drivers can only win one championship. If you win the overall title, you can't win your category title. Fred Ling is doing exactly what he needs to do. He knows the two cars ahead of him are not competing for points. He just wants to finish ahead of everybody else as Todd Crooks moves up to pass Vince Bristow, Mr. Sideways as he's known in the BMW. Todd Crooks will be, I think, now the second highest point scoring car in Super Modified. Now, if Fred Ling is the highest point scoring car home, and Lee Wood does likewise in the pre-95 Classic A final, then we will have a tie-break because they will be level on points. Fred Ling crabbing a little bit there down Duffer's Dip. Just needs to stay behind the Chevette of Crockett here. He knows it's not a point-scoring car. He doesn't need to get past it. You try telling that to a racing driver in the heat of battle. Oh, and a tangle there. Cameron Whitley and Michelle Swallow in the Porsche have gone around. Michelle Swallow has had a fair share of incidents this season in the Boxster. She'll get going again though. Phil Chicken certainly won't. He's crashed out there coming onto Railway Straights. His race is over. He's already won the up to 1600cc category. Well, Bleasdale is going to take the win. We've barely seen the Vauxhall VX220. He's as usually seen in a different league to everybody else. He's away and gone. In fact, he's coming up to lap Michelle Swallow. Bleasdale not competing for points. He won the overall title 2 years ago. Jason and Darren Bleasdale have both been overall champions in their VX220s. Here comes the Bleasdale Motorsports Vauxhall. Doesn't look like a conventional rallycross car, but it is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. Coming up behind the Porsche with that huge wing. They are closing up slightly because Bleasdale wasn't able to overtake there because of the yellow flag. Phil Chicken's incident. Bleasdale comes up to take the win, making it look easy as always. Crockett hangs on for second, but the top point scoring car home is Fred Ling in the Fiesta. He's done what he needs to do. There is Todd Crooks. He'll move above Phil Chicken in the points, so in with a chance of the Super Modified Championship. We'll wait to see who comes home next. The rest quite a way behind. We saw Cameron Whitley tangle with Michelle Swallow in the VW Polo. Looks like Cameron Whitley is going to win his subclass, the over 2.1 litre category. He's The rest of the finishers come home. Again, it'll be onto the calculators. Championship coordinator Jordine Crooks will be working away behind the scenes. Here comes Whitley home in the Polo Turbo. Check out the results of our super modified A final. Jason Bleasdale, the winner, ahead of Alan Crockett by just under 3 seconds. Ling in third, ahead of Crooks. Johnny Crisp in fifth in the Citroen Saxo. Whitley and Swallow completing the finishers. Super modified category, Fred Ling has done enough ahead of Todd Crooks, who does go above Phil Chicken by just 2 points. So if Fred Ling wins overall, it will be Todd Crooks who will inherit the super modified category championship.
So, Jason, great to see you out here with us again. It's been a little while, and to see you performing so well with your VX220 again.
Yeah, first time back at the BTRDA since 2021, I think was the last time I was out, so it's definitely good to be back. And obviously up here at Knockhill, the car goes very well up here. It's probably our local track, not really Scottish, but it's our local track, so yeah, it's good to be back.
And any changes to the car since you were last racing, as that was in Ireland?
No, it's still the same setup as in Ireland when we were last out in June. We're putting new engine in for that round in Ireland, and it seems to be, fingers crossed, holding together and going pretty well.
Well, what's the plan for 2024 as we reach the end of 23?
I think you should be seeing maybe a bit more of me at the BTRDA for next year, so fingers crossed all goes well, I'll be back a bit more next year.
Yeah, and keeping up the Bleasdale name as young Darren is waiting to become a dad any moment.
Yeah, Darren and Rachel are due very soon. Obviously, that's why Darren couldn't come up today. It's a bit too close, and he's handed the trophy back last night with his name on it. So hopefully, maybe next year the Bleasdale name might be back on it again.
We'll wait to see and find out. So, congratulations on today. Great driving all day as ever, and look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Cheers.
Next up on track is the final for the production category. Cars to look out for here. Alex Fletcher on the outside of the front row in the Honda Civic. His main title rival is Martin Peters in his Citroen Saxo, but it's Will Noon in his Renault Clio who has taken pole after a heat win earlier on. Mark Henry in the middle in the Alfa Romeo. James Ash completing the second row. Also out on the grid for this one, we've got Tom Brooks, motorsport commentator, one of the voices of Formula E in his Ford Fiesta, but it's Alex Fletcher who takes up the lead. Peters comes through from the second row. Great start there in the second place. Mark Henry third in the Alfa Romeo. We've got a spinner already. That's one of the Citroen C2s down there. Didn't quite make out which one it was, unfortunately. We'll pick that up in a moment. The rest of them make their way through. Just right there, Kestutis Butkus in his Suzuki Swift. Look at them bounce over the bumps there through the Big Dipper section. There is Tom Brooks at the wheel of the Ford Fiesta in the middle of that group. And it is Alex Fletcher in the Wera Tools sponsored Loughborough College run Honda Civic. Alex Fletcher, a lecturer in motorsport studies at Loughborough College. His students help prepare this car and looking to deliver them the MOT Group Production Championship here today. It's been a great season for Alex, who has overcome more than most, fighting back after beating cancer a few years ago to compete this season, looking to deliver the championship. Subclasses, there's the 1600cc class, the 1600 to 2000cc class. Looks like Mark Henry is going to take that in the Alfa Romeo 147. Was challenging for the overall championship, but unfortunately a broken gearbox. Well, for the production overall championship, I should say, but unfortunately a broken gearbox at Pembrey put paid to his chances there. Will Noon keeping up in the Renault Clio. He's had a good season in fourth place at the moment, running wide there in second, Martin Peters. Well, for the overall championship, we've now got to wait to see what happens in the Classic A final. Fred Ling's done what he needed to do. He was the top scorer. He's got to wait to see if Lee Wood can win his A final. Classic's coming up a little bit later on. In production, Will Noon challenging the Alfa Romeo of Mark Henry, the Buckinghamshire driver, for third place through McRae Corner. Fletcher still out in front ahead of Peters. Battle for fifth headed up by James Ash. Noon has a look on the outside there. He won't get through on the narrow section there over the loose, over the bigger bumps at the end. Will Noon into the plastic barriers. We said to watch out for those on the outside. He's losing his front bumper and front balance as a result of that. The rear bumpers come loose as well. The Clio's falling apart. Said this circuit was a bit of a car breaker. Up over the top they come on the main straight, then under the bridge into lap 4. Still Will Noon chasing hard after Mark Henry for that 3rd place. And the battle for 5th position, the 2 Citroen C2s going side by side. Oh, and James Ash gets it sideways, he's lost it. Onto the grass. Well, this is Rallycross, not autograss. James Ash will rejoin at McRae's. The leaders coming up to lap. Kęstutis Butkus in the Suzuki Swift, a newcomer this year. He's in the 1600cc class. As things stand at the moment, that's going to go to Martin Peters. He's had to slow up there. Mark Henry could get 2nd position away. Not quite. Here comes the Clio up the inside of Will Noon. They're bottled up there behind the Suzuki, trying to lap Kęstutis Butkus. Bumper hanging off the back of Will Noon's Clio. It's the ex-Mark Finch car, I believe, that he's driving. And the C2 and the Fiesta in 5th and 6th. Tom Brooks going well. Had to miss a round this year, the round at Midden Hill, because he was voicing the London E-Prix for Formula E. The closing stages now. We are on the last lap, and that little schmozzle at the hairpin has allowed Alex Fletcher to get away. He's heading for the MOT Group Production Championship in the Honda. Look at the state of that Clio, it's falling apart. Will Noon's now got a Clio lightweight, but Alex Fletcher has got the Wearer Tools Loughborough College Honda Civic, and he's about to become the MOT Group Production Champion. He's dominated this race out of the final corner up to the checkered flag. Fletcher takes the win and the championship. Martin Peters will come over in 2nd. That will win him his subclass, the 1600cc championship, and the class for 1600 to 2000cc cars goes to Mark Henry. James Ash will come in after his spin in the Citroen C2. Great stuff from the production cars. The last couple of cars coming to the finish. There's Graham Cuthbert at the wheel of the 810 Citroen C2 towards the back. But it is Alex Fletcher who is jubilant. A brilliant championship. Well done to the Loughborough College team. Fletcher taking the win by just over 4 seconds ahead of Peters, Henry and Noon. Dan Griffiths, it was who beat Tom Brooks home in their battle for 5th position. Then James Ash, Graham Cuthbert and Kęstutis Butkus completing the 9 runners. Championship goes to Alex Fletcher. It's 8 points clear of Martin Peters, with Mark Henry in 3rd. Peters and Henry win their subclass championships. Ash and Butkus completing the top 5 ahead of Will Noon.
It's always a pleasure to have a little chat with you after a race, Alex. It means you've won again, and I know a few people who smile as much as you when you're winning. It's terrific to see you out there again. Brilliant. Racing away. Yeah. Under a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of pressure. Obviously, today there's been, I think, 4 or 5 drivers all in the low 51 within a 10th, and so I was so lucky to get onto the front. I wasn't the fastest today. Will Noon's been so quick. He's done so well. It's been great days racing. But yeah, another win, and that seals the production championship. So, over the moon. It means so much for us as the college, myself, the students who are involved, Wearer Tools, the works. So I'm just so glad I could do the job. So yeah.
Well, my congratulations to you, Alex. A fantastic win, not just today, but for the championship for the whole of the 2023 season. Back for more next year, I hope.
Yes, definitely. We'll be back. We'll be back stronger. You know, that car's going to go back to the college, get ripped to bits, and see how we can make it even faster and get me a little bit faster as well.
Well, that's something to look forward to. Congratulations, Alex. Well done.
Lovely. Cheers. Thank you.
Now it's on to the Bone Street Autos BMW Mini category. The 3 championship contenders on the front row. Harvey Harman in the blue car, he won 2 of the heats. Abby McGuinness alongside him, she won a heat as well. And Ben Sayer from the outside. One of those 3 is going to be the champion. Ben Sayer it was who led the points coming into this round. He's had a few electrical issues with his car though. Alan Laidler in behind him. Sayer slides around the outside in the first corner side by side with Harvey Harman. There's a bit of contact. Sayer goes out wide, out onto the loose. He's He's back in third place, but third will be enough to give him the championship. Alan Laidler in 744, the former Citroen Saxo driver, in behind them, but it's Harvey Harman who leads the way ahead of Abby McGuinness, who's had so much bad luck this year. I think in 3 separate A finals her car's broken down on the last lap. She's up there in second place, still in title contention, but she needs misfortune to hit her rivals. Ben Sayer, the former junior rallycross contender, up there in third in the Sayers Road Tankers car. Challenging for second place, Harvey Harman it is who leads the way, looking forward. I think will be his first A final win of the season if he can stay in front of him. He had a couple of heat wins earlier. Last time out at Pembrey we saw Lynn Llewellyn, the local man, take a win in his first rallycross for 37 years. So he wasn't registered for points. A couple of laps to go now, and it is still Harvey Harman from Abby McGuinness. Ben Sayer knows that third place will be enough for the championship. He doesn't need to challenge for the win here in the Bone Street Autos BMW Minis, the only one make category, one model category racing today. Alan Laidler further back in fourth position. Main focus is that battle for second. Reeling in Harvey Harman very slightly. As long as Ben Sayer just keeps going in that third place, he will win the championship. We're into the last lap now. McGuinness and Harman have tried their hardest. They were all in contention coming into this final round. Not in contention for the overall Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's title, however. Harvey Harman is heading for victory. He's going to take a hat-trick of wins here at Knock Hill after his 2 heat wins earlier on. Abby McGuinness won the other heats. It is going to be a championship provisionally for Ben Sayer. Here they come then into the final corner. McGuinness closing up a little bit on Harvey Harman, but it's going to be a win for the Blue Machine. Harvey Harman wins the A final, McGuinness second, and Ben Sayer wins the championship in third place. Well done, Ben. The young gun takes it. Alan Laidler completes the finishers. So the win goes to Harman by just under half a second ahead of Abby McGuinness, with Ben Sayer a few tenths back in third place. Laidler, the fourth place finisher. James Hawkes unfortunately breaking down in the heat. It's not been a happy season for James, unfortunately. Ben Sayer it is who takes the title, just 8 points clear of Abby McGuinness, with Harvey Harman third, Laidler fourth, Gus Glass, who was absent today, completing the top 5 ahead of James Hawkes, Leanne Sedgwick and Dave Willis. Wesley Wickens and Charlie Maroney complete the top 10.
There's a new face to the top step of the podium. Harvey, how's that first win for you?
Unbelievable. For my first full year racing. I mean, at Blyton, the second round of Blyton, I rolled the car. I missed two races, and then came back to Pembrey. Had a good weekend at Pembrey, and then we've come here after practice today. We put a hole in the radiator, so we had to swap that, and then heat 1 and heat 2 we got the win, and then I took it steady in heat 3, so I didn't want to mess the car up. It's getting rough out there, and then just held on from Abby in the final. Unbelievable. It's just sort of, from a first proper year, it's not feeling like it really.
How will you celebrate tonight?
We've got about a 6-hour drive ahead of us, so probably sleeping for most of it. But I think I'll go out for a beer tomorrow night, definitely.
Well deserved.
Yeah,
very well deserved. And then more of the same for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Next year we're going to really put the graft in and try and get some better results than this year.
Well, having won your first race, you've broken your duck. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year and see what it brings with everything.
It is now time for the race to decide the title. The pre-95 Classic A final. Pole sitter Vince Bristow is absent. He broke down in the Super Modified final. Lee Wood in the Motorquip Escort is the man to watch. He needs to win this race. He needs to be top scorer to finish level with Fredling on points and force a tie-break. If he doesn't win this, Fredling is the champion. Lee Wood, who suffered a cracked exhaust manifold on his car, forcing him to miss heat 3, has repaired. He leads the way into the first corner. David Ewan in the Fiesta Evo in second. Jamie McBain is third. Then it's Dan Swayland in the Mark 1 Escort. Helen Crooks in her Mini rounds out the field. It's Lee Wood who's where he needs to be. He is out in front in this Melius Limited Classic A final. Here they come up towards the Big Dipper for the first time. Over the bumps they go. Been out of shape there, David Ewing in that second place. Now if Lee Wood wins the overall title provisionally, it'll be Jamie McBain who will take the classic title. But Wood needs to win here and take top points to finish level on points with Fred Ling and force the tie-break. If we do go to a tie-break, it will be on number of cars, number of drivers beaten over the course of the season. So championship coordinator Jordine Crooks is going to need to get her calculator at the ready. Jordine, we occasionally see her competing herself, of course, in previous years in the production category. Britain's fastest nurse, as we call her. Seen her husband Todd racing in the super modifieds, and Todd's mum Helen out in action here as well in her Mini. We look back from David Ewing. There is Jamie McBain giving chase to the second place man as they come up onto Railway Straight once again. Lee Wood in the Motorquip Escorts leads the way. Replica of the car raced by John Welch back in the early 80s, among others. David Ewing on the inside, and Lord's made a mistake coming through. Did he slow up there? David Ewing has taken the lead in the Fiesta. Now Lee Wood trying to power back ahead. If David Ewing wins this, Fred Ling's going to take the title. Lee Wood needs to fight back, or has he got a problem? No, he's back up the outside. Later on the brakes for Dufferstip, he goes through. A scare there for Lee Wood. He's back ahead of David Ewing. He's looking for his first A final win of the season, the Cumbria Farmer. Jamie McBain, we've already seen him win the rally car class in his other 205, in third place in the Green Machine from R1 Motorsports. Dan Swayland's Mark 1 Escorts behind them. He's all set to win the smaller capacity class title, the up to 1600cc award. For the bigger cars, over 2.1 litre, it looks like it's going to be John Cross in the Lancia Stratos, who's not here this weekend, who takes that subclass. Jamie McBain up the outside of David Ewing. If he doesn't win the classic title, he'll take the up to 2.1 litre category. Chasing David Ewing, we're on lap 5 out of the 6. Lee Wood still in front, so he's doing what he needs to do. He had a scare early on when David Ewing got up alongside and took the lead along the top straight. We saw Jamie McBain jump almost rally style there over one of the bumps. It's getting really rough through this section. Now coming up to lap, Helen Crooks in the Mini. Hopefully she'll see the leaders coming and let them through. Lee Wood still leads. He's increased his lead slightly, the Motorquip Escort, so no ill effects of that exhaust manifold problem he had earlier on. He had to miss the third heats. Vince Bristow in the BMW, who qualified on pole. Unfortunately, problems in the super modified final, leaving him unable to start this race. But he was not competing for points anyway, so it was not going to affect Lee Wood if the BMW won. On the last lap now, there's Dan Swayland in the Escort, all set to win the up to 1600cc subclass title, but Lee Wood out in front. It looks like we're going to a tie-break for the overall championship. Just got a couple of corners to survive now. David Ewing, his best run of the year, up there in second place. He would dearly have loved an A final win today, just couldn't quite hold back Lee Wood. Third place, Jamie McBain. Through the right-hander for the last time. Lee Wood's only got to put his foot down, and Lee Wood takes the win. It's going to be a tie-break for the championship. David Ewing second, McBain third, Swayland fourth. Further back in fifth place, a lap down, will be Helen Crooks in the Mini. So Lee Wood has done what he needs to do, Fred Ling has done what he needs to do, and we are going to a tie-break. Lee Wood wins the Melius Limited Classic A final by less than a second ahead of David Ewing. Jamie McBain in third place ahead of Dan Swayland. Helen Crooks a lap down. Vince Bristow did not take the start in the BMW. See what that's done to the classic points. Lee Wood 320, same total as Fred Ling. Jamie McBain second and Dan Swayland third. Darrell Ambrose, the Peugeot pilot, absent today fourth, and John Cross completing the top 5.
Now, not for the first time this season, the classic final is won by Mr. Lee Wood. This wasn't quite straightforward though for you, was it? This one?
No. Heat 3 was a bit of a disaster where the exhaust cracked, so we had to sort of do a temporary repair on that. And then the final just there was a bit challenging to say the least. So I managed to lose third gear at this hairpin here. And then I couldn't see anything because of the sun, and yeah, just various sort of issues.
And of course, you've done all you can to get the overall championship for the BTRDA Rallycross Championship. Now it's really in the hands of people with calculators and abacuses.
Abacuses and calculators and apps and things like that. I don't know. So we'll wait and find out, see what they say, and go from there. But all I can do today is do what we've done and put the car where it needs to be. So yeah.
Well done again, Lee.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you again soon.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Thank you.
So while Championship Coordinator Jordine Crooks gets her abacus at the ready, we move on to the FIA Cross Cars, sponsored by SGS Gases, and a familiar surname in pole position, Max McRae, is set to lead the cars away. Son of Alistair McRae, grandson of the great Jimmy McRae, nephew of the legendary Colin McRae. Great to have Max here with us, and he will lead away from pole position. The championship being contested between David Attiwell and Will Butler, who are very close in the points at the moment. There's a clash there down towards the first corner. Luke Holly in the 23 buggy goes off on the gravel. That's bent his rear suspension. He's going to be out of the race, one of the pioneers of this division from last season. They make the way along the bottom of the course. David Attiwell there in the light blue car, chasing Max Weatherly in the 73. He's not registered for points. Max McRae isn't either. He's out in front then. Will Butler is in car number treble 1. There he is. 73 of Weatherly. There is Attiwell. He needs to finish ahead of Will Butler to take the title. Great to see the FIA cross cars increasing in number this season. Bodywork damage on one of them a little further back there. Not very easy to see the numbers on these cross cars, so apologies for any wrong calls during this race. But the cross cars, as Luke Holly limps into retirement, bent rear suspension. That contact on the first corner has put him out of the race, unfortunately. The cross cars performed at the live action arena at the Autosport International Racing Car Show in January at the NEC in Birmingham. Autosport International, the title sponsors of the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Luke Holly needs to get out of the way there, and that's caused problems there possibly for Will Butler. He had to dodge the 23. He's trying to get out of the way. He can't steer it. The car just crabbing sideways. I'm sure we'll see a big presence from the championship once again at Autosport International in mid-January 2024. Cross cars have been entertaining this year. These howling little buggies, 600cc engines, very popular in France and Spain. We saw some Spanish racers come over for the Autosports indoor show. There is David Attiwell, number 501, currently fighting Will Butler for the championship. Needs to get ahead of Butler here. Butler ahead of Max Weatherly in the number 73. Just clipping the bales there on the outside. Well, Max McRae, as expected, is away and gone. He's heading for the victory, but he's not a point-scoring car. Nor is the 73, I don't think, of Max Weatherly. Modified class runner. Scored his first ever A-final win at Pembrey last time out. Mad Max ahead of Will Butler. This is going to be close, because I think, by my calculations, if it stays like this to the line, Will Butler is going to win the title by 1 point. David Attiwell closing up. He needs to do the job, needs to try and get ahead here. This is going to be very close indeed. Attiwell on the back of Butler. He's got to get ahead of him into this last corner. Max McRae, meanwhile, wins the race, but he won't pick up points. Is Will Butler going to stay ahead of David Attiwell? Yes, he does. We'll see what that does to the points. I think Will Butler has done it, but we'll wait to confirm as the rest of the cars come home. Confirm the results. No, Max McRae has won the A-final on his debut in BTRDA Rallycross, ahead of Max Weatherly by nearly 7 seconds. Will Butler beats David Attiwell home by half a second. Stephen Burke, Ethan Rouse and Finland's Ansko Pitkänen complete the finishers. Luke Holly out on the first lap with bent suspension. Let's have a look at the points chart. Butler has done it by a single point ahead of David Attiwell. My goodness, what a finish to the year. Luke Holly third in the points ahead of Rouse, Burke and Paul Batson completing the top 6.
Now, Max, if I didn't know better, I'd say you enjoyed yourself in that final.
Yeah, it was very good. We got a good start and then we were able to lead it from start to finish. So that 3 out of 4 wins in the races today, so I couldn't be happier and enjoyed it a lot.
So you settled in then?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and everyone kept me on my toes and good racing, so can't complain at all.
And the kart running very well.
Yeah, the kart was running mega, so the team have done an awesome job. So yeah, if anyone wanted to ever jump in one of these buggies, highly recommend it, and definitely go to contact EDSL and they'll get you sorted.
So it's got the McRae seal of approval.
Definitely.
Well, hope to see you again out in some form of rallycross again in the future. But what's next for you?
Yeah, well, hopefully I can get in a rallycross event again soon. But next we've got the Cambrian next weekend, so first event in a R5 car. So that'll be a good learning curve, and I don't know how much will translate from the rallycross over to the rally. So I have someone sitting next to me this time. But no, yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, and that'll be it for the rest of the year.
Well, welcome to the world of rallycross. Winner, chicken dinner. Hope to see you again sometime in the future.
I hope so, and thanks for the support to everyone, and yeah, it's been a good time.
Time for the final for the junior rallycross category. 3 Suzuki Swifts out there. It is Will Ovenden on pole. He won 2 of the heats. Alongside him his title rival Tyler McAlpin. He won the other heats. And Corey Paget completes the 3 runners. Bad luck to Harvey Hutchinson. The Citroen C2 driver unfortunately crashed out in the heats. Not able to make it out for the final. Red lights are on. Revs are up from these 1300cc engines, and away we go into the sunset here at Knockhill. It's a 3-way drag race down towards Duffer Stip for the first time in the AVM Motors Junior Rallycross Championship final. Will Ovenden, a very long journey to be here today from down in Kent. He takes the lead ahead of Tyler McAlpin, his title rival. Corey Paget slots in behind. 3 cars line astern as they go around McRae's for the first time. It's Ovenden who leads the way. If he stays out in front, he will take the Junior Championship. Over the bumps they come, spectacular through there. Corey Paget on the tail of Tyler McAlpin, who's dropped back a little already from Will Ovenden. Everybody else waiting to find out who has won that overall championship. The calculations will be being done for the tie-break between Lee Wood and Fred Ling. Can't remember the last time the championship went down to a tie-break. They've top scored in every A final this season, those two have that they have contested. In the junior class, meanwhile, it is Ovenden who leads the way. He's heading for the championship by the look of things. Great effort by Tyler McAlpin this year. Corey Paget in third. These have been the standout 3 in the Junior Rallycross Championship, sponsored by AVM Motors. Great to see a few newcomers coming in as well. Ben Bartlett has been impressive this season in his Suzuki Swift. Harvey Hutchinson in the Citroen C2. Jimmy Jeekins in the Nissan Micra, that unfortunately rolled over a couple of times. It's been these 3 battling for the top of the points. Ovenden and McAlpin have divided up the A final wins between them. It's Ovenden pulling away now. He's looking all set for the title. The Ovenden family with a long and proud tradition in rallycross. Won several titles between them over the years. Moving into circuit racing as well, Tom Ovenden currently leading the Mini Challenge trophy points. In the closing stages now, Tom Ovenden leads into the Scottish sunsets. As to be said, most of Scotland hasn't seen the sun for a week leading up to this event. There's been flooding among large parts of Scotland. Great to see conditions clearing up in time for this event to go ahead today. McAlpin over the bumps, he's dropped back. Valiant effort from Tyler and his team this year. It looks like he's going to have to settle for second. Coming round to the start of the last lap now, it is Ovenden in the Digger Sim Suzuki Swift, heading for the win and the championship. We have seen the overall championship go to the junior category in the past. Luke Constantine took the title a few years ago, the overall Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's title. But it's between Super Modified and Classic this year. Checkered flag is being prepared for Will Ovenden. Safely ahead of Tyler McAlpin now by several swift lengths. Corey Paget has dropped back into third. down towards the checkered flag. The Ovenden family's tradition of rallycross success about to be continued by Will Ovenden in the number 5 Suzuki. Comes out of the final corner up towards the checkered flag, wins the race and wins the AVM Motors Junior Rallycross title. Tyler McAlpin comes over in second. Further back in third will be Corey Paget. A mixed season for him in the 3.26. Thought he was going to head straight into the paddock there. He's got to come up and take the checkered flag. Bit of a struggle, that A final for him, but he does take third place. It's Ovenden's win and Ovenden's title in the junior division. So Will Ovenden the winner by just under 1.5 seconds in the end. Paget some 14 seconds further back in third. Rather troubled race for him, lapping a couple of seconds slower. And in the points, it is Will Ovenden who takes the title by 9 points ahead of Tyler McAlpin. Paget third, Ben Bartlett the top newcomer in fourth, ahead of Teddy McPherson, Jimmy Jeekins, and Holly Woolley, Ben Crossley, Harvey Hutchinson and Phoebe Cake completing the scorers.
Well, I don't suppose that words can really describe how you feel, can they?
No, absolutely not. Just, so happy. Just, unbelievable. Yeah, a brilliant result. Yeah, and I had to keep my head down, and it was a brilliant race. I drove very well. Very proud of that.
And as with so many of the championships and the categories throughout the championship, it was all about today. Whoever was going to win the final would win the overall championship, and that included yourself and Tyler, locked on very similar points coming into today. What sort of preparation did you have mentally?
All sorts really. Just I've spoke to psychologists, people, professionals, people who know what they're doing, and I've really put everything into this weekend. And of course, with the double points, you've got everything to play for. So I think it's been really close in all the classes. Been some great racing today.
And great racing all the way through the year. You and Tyler particularly have been duking it out with exchanging wins and second places. There's been, in old parlance, a fag paper between you. And so, it must mean so much to finally seal the deal.
Yeah, to wrap it up like this, it's absolutely brilliant. It's been so close. I think we've changed the lead of the championship like 3 times throughout. It's just been ridiculous to come out on top. It's really, really good.
And kudos to Tyler and Corey, Holly, and everyone else who's been racing in juniors this year. Been a fantastic example to many of the senior drivers with your camaraderie in the paddock. You all get on so well. Obviously, very serious out there on driving, and I think it's to your it's big thumbs up and well done to all of you.
Yeah, there's great loads of respect between all of us. We've all been great friends out there, and exactly. Kudos to everyone else. Everyone's driven brilliant this year, especially Tyler. He's pushed me really hard all season, and big thanks to the team and Whittam Oils.
So, well, having won the juniors, what's next?
Oh, even if I did know, I couldn't tell you. but next season I think we're going to relax a bit more and just find our feet in some other series maybe. Yeah.
And is that because you'll then be too old for juniors?
I could do some more junior racing. Yeah, I may well be back next year. And I'll definitely be doing some rounds next year. But what that's in, I don't know.
Well, there's plenty of choices, plenty of options, and you've got the Ovenden name to live up to, which you have more than done today. But best wishes for the future, and well done for today.
Thanks very much. Yeah, and look forward to next season.
Well, the calculations have been done, the results of the tiebreaker in, and Fred Ling is the champion. Fred Ling wins the 2023 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Overall Championship on a tiebreak from Lee Wood, with Alex Fletcher in third overall. Congratulations to the young man from Kent in the Ford Fiesta ST. That, of course, means Todd Crooks takes the super modified title. Lee Wood is consoled with the Classic Championship. Brilliant for Fred Ling. Many congratulations to the man from Kent. And that does wrap up the 2023 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship for another year. What a fabulous season it has been, up and down the country. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on our coverage this year, and we will see you back in 2024 for more great Rallycross action. That does conclude the season. Congratulations to your champion, Fred Ling.